This is your Daily Dose with Dr. D. Here's Dr. Daniela Schreier.
Hi there and welcome back. I'm Dr. Daniela and you are here to get your daily dose. Let's continue to answer your tweets and your questions related to the Jodi Arias trial. This would all be more easy with a live call-in radio or talk show, but that's what we're working on because then I could be with you in real time. So today I want to start out to answer a question that David has. He made a comment about he's thinking that the defense will go forward with emotional and psychological abuse and hence will try to get a manslaughter charge with 5 to 10 years. I am not a lawyer, so I'm not talking to the legal part here, but actually my thoughts go a little further. I do think that the defense has established a case or wanted to lay a foundation for a battered woman syndrome. It's admissible into the court and they have to tweak it a little bit, but I think that's what they're working on. And let me tell you why. Here, Travis was really portrayed as a batterer in court. A couple of things. First of all, the sex tape that was introduced. He seemed quite intoxicated. Other people said he was just tired. He was actually singing the national anthem. It was very inappropriate. And what we know is that many batterers or abusers actually also drink. If this was a purpose of introducing this tape, that means that he was not only Jekyll and Hyde in his behavior patterns, and he was a good man or Mormon to the world, but a very bad boyfriend to Jodi. But it might have also introduced that he might have had alcohol issues, even so it was never really addressed. It's underlying. Number two, he was portrayed as a person that is liking child pornography or actually a pedophile. This is grave. It's some really huge accusation coming in, but we also know in a huge percentage or high percentage of batterers, there is also an interest in or sexual interest very often in children, in their family, in their own children, and at times they act upon it. So that was another clue. Also, what we know from batterers in a huge research done over many years by Leonore Walker, many of them come from abusive families where maybe the parents were using drugs or these boys in particular, now men, also witnessed battering at home in a physical or emotional sense. So that was also established. His past history or upbringing was brought in. Next, Travis was also portrayed as a person who once he actually betrayed Jodi and she walked away, would come back and apologize. That's very typical for a batterer. Once people go to through the cycle of violence, he would come back and actually come after her. In the light of Jodi, she was also portrayed as a woman who has some of the characteristics that potentially a domestic violence victim or survivor has. She appears in court very helpless when it comes to Travis. A theory of developed or learned helplessness that she feels he's so domineering and overpowering that she cannot walk away. She feels kind of dependent on him and is kind of also portrayed as very fragile. So that were just some thoughts about the upcoming defense and how it will be actually brought up. Do I believe in that? No, not really. And why? Let's think from the end. Would Jodi Arias today be in trial accusing her then boyfriend or ex-boyfriend of having sexually and emotionally abused her if he wouldn't be dead? No, she would not. If Travis would have committed to a one-on-one relationship and that's what she wanted, and she would be now Mrs. Alexander, potentially she would have never brought up her discomfort with any sexual ongoing. It is also very interesting that Jodi was the one who did show aggression, in my opinion. She always came back, and that might not actually be the point, but she came back with a vengeance. When she learned that he was going out with other women, she would email these women. She would slash his tires. These are signs of aggression. These are not signs necessarily of an abused woman who is fearful and afraid of her so-called batterer. And we had seen that in Jodi's relationships before, when she had healthy relationships, and she's capable of that. She has shown that she was in a long-term relationship. Her personality style did not come out. But when she talked about boyfriends that betrayed her before, her first reaction was not to stand back and to wait passively for them to come to her and tell her. No, she would get in the car and drive to the new girl or new girlfriend and try to discuss with her. That's fairly forward. That's not passive. She would also reach out to her old boyfriends and tell them, no, I'm having enough, I'm cutting it off. Or she would actually call them and debate with them and then leave the relationship. So thanks for being with me today. There will be coming more. Have a lovely day. This was your Daily Dose, and I'm Dr. D. Bye-bye.
This has been your Daily Dose with Dr. D. For more, go to drdaniela.com. That's drdaniela.com.